Hi, welcome to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And I know it's tough for me to just be here by myself without my daughter, but I had so much fun yesterday recording with her, even though my computer was terrible. It just kept stopping and it was really annoying. But she was really patient with me. She was great the whole time she was here. She just helped me so much. We went out and ran a couple errands, and she would just bend over backwards to help me. It was great. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. I think we both learned a lot by looking at the topic of imagination, and I think it was helpful to her. So, and I think we learned a little bit about each other. So that's always cool. And maybe I can have more guests over time. So we'll see. I think it went well. If you haven't watched it, it was yesterday's episode. So today I want to talk about letting go and this idea of powerlessness and acceptance. And I want to share, a personal experience that brought a lesson on acceptance and powerlessness. So these are themes that echo in recovery, whether you are recovering from alcoholism, any medical condition, stroke, if you're a stroke survivor, or any mental health challenges. So this is, this was interesting to me the other day. So on Friday, my husband took me to the DMV. So as you know, I just tied the knot and have a new last name. So I had to go to the DMV. I got to go to the DMV and get a new license for my new last name, Abbasi. So I had gotten my name change with the Social Security office. I got my new Social Security card. So next was my license. And so I made an appointment, like I did everything. I went online and filled out the application, and then I made an appointment, and I waited like 4 weeks or something like that, 3 weeks, I don't know, to get in there. I don't know if it was because they were busy. I think it was more that I was busy. So I waited a couple weeks in order to get in. So my appointment was at 3:15 on Friday, and we left well in advance because it said to arrive 15 minutes early so that you could fill out whatever forms you need when you get there. I had a copy of the email verifying that I had an appointment. I had my marriage certificate. I had my old license. I'm like, you know how you go to the DMV and there's always something unexpected that happens, and I was like, this isn't going to happen this time. Like, it's going to be the most perfect visit to the DMV ever. And I was kind of laughing at myself because that never happens. Like, something's going to go wrong. So this is what happened. Nothing went wrong. I got my license, but it was an interesting lesson. So as many of you know, due to my vestibular condition, I have to ride in the car with my eyes closed to manage my symptoms. And this in itself has been a big lesson for me in relinquishing control, not knowing where I'm going. I've felt like it's a really good representation of just not, letting go of the wheel. And it is a challenging adjustment for anyone that is accustomed to being in the driver's seat, both literally and metaphorically, and somebody who might be slightly a control, I wouldn't say freak, I'm not a freak, but likes to be in control. And so this has been challenging. over the past 10 months, my husband and I talk about it all the time. He's amazing driving me, and I've been able to communicate to other people who want to help out and drive me places that the only way that I won't get sick is if you drive me like I'm a full glass of water and I'm sitting in the passenger seat with no lid and you can't spill me. That's what I tell people. And it really helps. That's like a perfect analogy, and people have been able to drive me. Except when people are like, is this the right road? Should I be turning here? And I'm like, oh boy, I can't open my eyes to look. Anyway, so we are riding to the DMV. And as we're approaching, so we're going to the DMV in Leesburg, and the DMV apparently has changed location, and I wasn't aware of that. So the name of the road, I don't know, was confusing. I didn't pick up on it that it had moved. So as we approached the location of the old DMV, my husband turned on WAZE. We love WAZE, and WAZE immediately instructed us to make a U-turn and head in the opposite direction. And so immediately, what do? I open my eyes and I'm like, no, but we're supposed to turn at the light right in front, make a left there, and you just go back. Like I'm explaining, no, this is what we're supposed to do. So here is this app on his phone that is redirecting us away from the destination that I was familiar with, at least I thought I was, and all I could think about was, I'm going to be late. We're already planning to be there 15 minutes early. And so there's no way I'm going to be late for my appointment. But that's all I could think of. I had my schedule meticulously planned. I need to be early. And so I immediately could feel like tension rising in me. So after a super brief and very kind exchange with each other, I'm not being sarcastic, my husband suggested that I just close my eyes and trust the route that WAZE was proposing. So reluctantly, I did. I just closed my eyes, and I could feel like that anxiety building about being late or missing my appointment altogether. And so I remembered my program, because the more that I practice my program in all my affairs, the more that it becomes habit. So, and it's so true. I've been doing this for 7 years. I have 7 days left until I can say 8 years. But I've been practicing this for so long that it becomes just automatic for me to say, okay, take a deep breath. It was like a moment of clarity that hit me. My mind immediately shifted away from, I'm going to be late. I'm going to miss my appointment. Instead of thinking, well, if I miss my appointment, I'm going to have to do this. This is going to happen. This is why this is bad. I didn't do that. I started doing it, and that's why I had opened my eyes and told him, no, but we have to turn here. Like, this is not right. But when he asked me to shut my eyes and just trust, right? I did. I took a deep breath, and I thought, why do I have to make that appointment? What if I'm not supposed to make that appointment? What am I afraid of? Like, what is really going to be so bad about me missing that appointment? Maybe I won't even miss the appointment. What he mentioned as we went maybe a 1/10 of a mile, he looked over at the old DMV building and he said, that building looks shut down. So that helped a little bit, because of course I was like, oh, maybe it did move. Yeah. But it struck me in these, maybe it was about a minute, that this change in my mindset happened. It was a realization and acceptance. Like, this was exactly what turning it over meant in recovery. And you all know that I use the God box. I don't physically take the God box out as much as I used to, because I now more think about the God box. I think about, okay, this goes in my God box, and I'm mentally putting it on a piece of paper and putting it in my God box. But I was able to truly do it without thinking of my God box. So that was like a big deal for me on Friday. It was like a real-time example of admitting powerlessness and accepting that I can't control people, places, and things. And that realization brought my anxiety down. And it was like that, I mean, it was quick, by saying, okay, instead of, but we need to, he said, why don't you shut your eyes and we'll see where WAZE takes us? And I said, okay. And he didn't say anything. And I said, thanks for recommending that I turn off my thinker. That's what I said. And he said, that's what I do. I tell people to turn off their thinker. This is it's endearing to me. But anyway, so I was practicing acceptance, and I have to do this not just in recovery, but in everyday life. And this shift from resistance to acceptance was just an example of these small choices that we make to accept rather than resist in everyday life. I mean, we do it multiple times a day. We make a decision to accept rather than resist. Probably, it might be a good exercise to think about that in one day. Like, as you're going through your day, recognize when you're at a crossroads throughout the day. How many times do you get to a crossroads where you can choose to accept or resist? And how many times does that happen? What's the situation like? And what does it feel like when you are having that mini battle inside of you? And how does it feel when you choose acceptance? And how does it feel when you choose resistance? So this experience for me is just a powerful reminder. And whether we're facing the unpredictability of a disease or the ups and downs of sobriety, the trials of mental health. I've been going through a lot of mental health stuff, and it comes down to, that might be why it was such a great realization for me, because I've been resisting a lot, right? Because of the unpredictability, the uncertainness of this recovery that I'm in, of not even having a formal diagnosis for vestibular disorder yet. But I couldn't be more certain that is what it is, because going to all of these support groups and stuff, like, they are telling my story. They are explaining my symptoms precisely. And so this principle of acceptance remains a cornerstone of resilience in my recovery, in all of the things that I'm dealing with in life, and recognizing that I can't control everything, and sometimes I can't control anything. The unexpected path, the unexpected road, the unexpected turn that happens in my life can lead to the most meaningful destinations. I have been feeling more and more over the past couple weeks that my purpose is really becoming more clear to me. What I'm doing now that I'm not working in my career of that I was in. So I think today I want to reflect on how we can apply the simple act of turning it over in my daily routine. You know, can we find freedom by relinquishing control, by saying okay instead of but, by practicing acceptance? I think the journey gets easier. Yeah, of course it gets easier. Like when I said okay, when he asked me to shut my eyes and just see where it takes me, everything just eased, you know, and I opened up myself to a new possibility that maybe I'm not going to make this appointment. Maybe I will. Does it really matter? You know? What if I don't make it and there's some sort of opportunity that shows itself because I didn't make it? Like, I don't know, and I don't have to know. Like, I need to just settle down and just let life happen a little more. So it's a simple message today, but it really hit me deeply in the moment on Friday. And I think every step in our recovery journeys, every challenge that we face, every turn in the road, you know, I'm literally thinking about that U-turn. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, but I was supposed to go in that direction and we're making a U-turn. But it really represents an opportunity for something else that's unexpected. Maybe I don't want life to be the way that I expected. Maybe I don't want, you know, I'm starting to think of where my life was headed in the job that I was in and where my life could be headed now that I'm not a marketing director working for a government contractor, you know? And now I'm spending my life, I'm dedicating every day to, I think, adding value to the recovery community, whether it's sobriety or stroke recovery, mental health. I mean, you name it. I'm able to spend my time thinking about it, communicating about it, sharing my experience, strength, and hope over the internet. I wouldn't have had time to do that when I was working 10, 12-hour days at my previous job. Yes, I loved my previous job. No, I didn't want to leave. But I'm starting to see that it's possible. And again, it's because of that freaking book that I listened to, the couple books that I listened to, but in particularly the identity theft that talked about how it's okay to be happy. It's okay to suffer something that was really life-altering and not what you wanted, and it's painful mentally and physically, but it's okay to find a way to be happier than you were before you'd had it. And I feel like that's happening for me. That's what I'm fighting for, at least. And I think that this is all helping me to grow stronger. And it's helping me to navigate my life in recovery. Better yet, it's allowing me to let go a bit more and let life guide me some. I don't have to, I was pretending to be in control of more than I really was. And I'm not saying that this is a pivotal moment that I'm never going to feel like I'm I'm never going to try to be in control again. Like, I'm going to be the same. I'm going to have the same character defects, but I get to practice. I get to practice these principles, these steps of my program and all of my affairs. And as I heard this morning in my morning meeting, I get to practice feeling free on the inside in order to feel free in the outside world, even if I'm just doing something like going for a ride to the DMV. So thank you so much for listening to me today, and I will talk to you tomorrow.